So this is a quick video on the game Festive Fortunes with the expansion. Set out the main player board. Give each player a playing board and their respective player bag. Randomly choose a scoring objective for all players to place on the scoreboard. Look for the star for the beginner setup. Assign someone the first player token, and then from clockwise, give them 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you will be passing this once every turn. Decide if you are playing with the expansion here, and place it underneath the decorations board. If you're playing with 3 players or 4 players, you may want to add the AI to help out. And then lay out the snack tokens in reachable piles. There is a finite amount for the game. Based on your player count, place the ingot tracker on 3, 4, or 5 player beside it, and that tells you how many starting gold every player gets. For example, here in a 4-player game, we'll get 65 gold to start off the year. Here's your money, $10 bills and $5 bills. So because we're playing 4 players, get 65 for each player. From your player bag, get your 5 envelopes and the player pawns. 3 of your player pawns plus 1 of each of the other players. Everybody places one of their family pawns up on the score tracker here on the main board. The other 2 of your family pawns will be workers going to each food stall. And the last 4 pawns of the other animals go onto your player board, starting at the 5 generosity track on your personal board. So what do you do in this game? You are trying to get the most of fortune points. How do you do that? The main way of doing this is collecting a whole bunch of food tokens that match the scoring criteria listed here. Everyone can see them at the beginning of the game, so you can forecast what you're trying to get. The second way of getting points is to invite other players to your house and have them offer you money in the secret envelopes. And for every visitor you have, that is 1 point. The game is played over 5 rounds, so if there's 4 other players, you could potentially be earning 4 points per round. In addition to that, there are decoration cards. Decoration cards such as this at the end of the game, plus 1 point or 3 points if you have eaten at least 3 or 6 savory and or tea snacks, the pink and green ones, in total. So you can buy decorations like these on your turn, and they might have a permanent effect or a one-time effect to help you with scoring or just in-game advantages. As a part of the setup, place 3 up, and then the deck face down over here. On your turn, take one of your pawns and either choose to go to the food stall and buy some food there, place it at the topmost price of the food track, or take one of your player pawns and go buy a decoration for the cost beside there. If you're playing with the expansion, buying a decoration also allows you to buy one of these special animal pawns to give you an extra turn and a special ability. So let's look at the oranges here. Mandarin oranges, they score. Every 2 oranges gets you 1 point. If you end the game with an odd number of oranges within your buffet table that you've consumed, you will lose 2 points. So oranges are the cheapest. They cost $5. If I'm trying to buy a food item, 1 character pawn can buy a maximum of 2 food items for that price. So to buy oranges here, since we all start off the game with $65, I want to buy 2 oranges. That'll cost $10. So I just pay the bank. And then I grab 2 orange tokens. When you buy food here, you have to place it onto your player board. Your dish here has 4 quadrants. You have to assign the food you just bought into the quadrants. The rule is that you cannot cross-contaminate, so don't put different food types into different quadrants. You can split up this 2 oranges if you want, so that the players that come to your house has to choose 1 quadrant to buy. So here, because I divvy up the pot, I would entice 2 players to come to my place. Whereas if I made 1 quadrant contain 2 stacks of the food, that makes it a really rewarding thing to bid for. So I'll do this, for example, place my 2 oranges in 1 quadrant. The next player would go, the doggo. Let's say the dog wanted to buy some tea. Tea is a premium product. Every tea you've consumed as tea is worth 1 point. Otherwise, you can use tea as a wildcard token for any of the other colors. So it could count as an orange if you needed to avoid getting an odd token. So I have this one dog here, go there. The cost of one tea costs $20. If I wanted to buy two, which is a maximum per purchase per pawn, that would cost $40. So with $65 to start with, yeah, I'll spend that. The thing is, you need money so that you can place it into your envelopes and then give it to the player that you want to visit so that you can eat their snacks. So the dog here has had 2 tea tokens and they'll place it on 2 separate quadrants. Say it's back to the rabbit. If you're including the AI in the game, here are the rules to help you play. The AI must always be the dragon, and the dragon always goes to the topmost leftmost spot available. So because this orange spot is not available, the next spot is this melon seed spot for $10. So the dragon would go there. The maximum the AI is allowed to spend is $20 worth. So they could buy 2 oranges, 2 seeds, 2 sweets, 1 savory, or 1 tea. So the dragon will buy its maximum amount of snacks and place it on their plate. And that's it. The dragon also goes last in every turn in every game. It's back to the rabbit's turn. Let's say I want to buy a decoration. So I want to buy this orchid here for $15. The orchid, at the end of the game, plus 1 point for each type of snack that you have eaten at least 4 of. So I'll buy that. The maximum amount of decorations I could have is 2. If I buy any more, I discard an old one. So I'll place it over here. Now, the decorations does not refill until the end of the year. But now a new spot has been revealed. If someone goes here, they get $10. In addition to the expansion here, I spent $15 on that decoration. I am also allowed to buy another pawn for 1 extra turn and their special ability for a cost of $5 additional. The snake here lets you buy 3 snacks if you use the snake pawn. And you are allowed to cross-contaminate your foods with the snacks. The rooster here, if you place a rooster in a snack stall, no one else can go to that stall to buy anything. So it locks out all other players, cornering the market. The only way for another player to buy something from that stall for that year is to use another rooster pawn. And here are the pawns. You are only allowed to have 1 extra per year. So you can only have 1 extra pawn. They do not carry over from year to year. They must be used on the same year that they were bought. All right, so let's say everyone finished placing their 2 pawns out. Then we go into the visiting phase. In the visiting phase here, take your envelopes and then look at the recipient, and every player will do this simultaneously. Secretly put money into each player envelope and then give it to the recipient. Why are you doing this? Whoever gives the most money to that family gets first priority pick at the snacks in that family's household. Everyone starts off at a 5 cost dollar here. This 5 cost dollar is the default, and it is the bare minimum that other players need to pay to visit this household. So to visit the rabbit, you have to pay at least $5 in the envelope. However, if you pay more, for example, $15, that means you would move your token up to 15, and now for the rest of the game, you get first pick because you are the furthest along the generosity track. So if the blue household always has great snacks, it might be worth investing to have first pick all the time. If somehow you are tied for first pick, then it goes in reverse turn order. So the person with the number 5 turn marker would have higher priority than the person with the number 2 turn marker. And it's always from highest to lowest whenever there's a tie. So let's say the pig had 5, the dog had 2, the pig would get first pick. The pig would eat 1 quadrant, take the 2 oranges. If there's no more food available for all the other players, that's just tough luck. But let's say there is additional food here. And let's say there's even more additional food here. So first, in the visiting phase, the family household, the rabbit, would look at all the envelopes they got, see who gave them money. If you got money, that means someone visited your household and they are eligible to eat snacks. That also means for every visitor you have, you get 1 point on the main board. So to indicate if someone has visited your household, put the pawn up. If someone did not visit your household, you can just knock them down, so then you don't get confused later on in the game. So let's just say everyone did visit my household here. How does eating work? First priority, the pig has 5. If they had the turn track marker, 5 for example. So the pig could eat 1 quadrant. The next person with the highest priority is the dog. They'll eat 1 quadrant. And then from here, a tie again. Let's say it was 5, 4, 3, 2. The dragon would eat next. And then the cat would eat next. The tiger. All right. If there were only 2 visitors and there were more snacks, all of your visitors will get to eat. So the 2 visitors, let's say it was the pig and the dog, they would just go back and forth deciding what to eat on the board. If for some reason no one came to your house to eat snacks, that means you, as the sole buyer of the house, gets to eat everything and add it to your player board for scoring at the end of the game. You can see here that everyone starts off with 1 orange at the beginning of the game. So for the visiting phase, everybody secretly puts money into the envelopes and gives it to the player. The rules for visiting is that you can never give less than what you had given previously. So where you move up on the board, you get to stake your position in priority, but to go back to that family's house, you always have to give the same amount or more. So if you rack up to 30 right away, that's half of your income every turn. So it's very expensive to go back to that house. Here's an explanation on eating again. If you have 2 or more that are tied, you eat in reverse turn order. So the highest number gets to eat first, and the lowest number eats last. If there are more food sections than visitors, visitors will continue eating from highest to lowest priority, just going back and forth. If there are less food than visitors, some people just don't eat. If nobody comes to your house, you as the player can eat any number of snacks you want from your own platter. The residual food can stay on your platter for the next turn. After you resolve the eating phase, you can go in turn order for this. Earn 1 point for each visitor you've had this year. So if the family tokens are standing, that's an easy indicator that they visited. Also score any points from decorations you've earned. To clean up for the next round, take back all your envelopes, pass the turn marker to the next player clockwise, collect your income for the next round, and refresh the decorations. So discard the old decorations and put out completely new ones. So the turn marker here, we're on round 2. Round 2, everyone gets $50 to start off the round, in addition to what they had previously. Play with the AI during the eating phase. As we recall, the AI bought something by going to the leftmost top available stall. If it wasn't available, they go to the next one. $20 is max what they would spend. On their platter, every player can visit the AI, but that one is secretly bidding. Whoever gives the most money is the person that wins the priority, as the AI only has 1 snack spot. If you tie, it's reverse turn order, so the player with number 5 gets to go first. Money goes back to the supply if it went to the AI. Pass turn markers clockwise. If you're playing with the expansion of the AI does a bit more. So in addition, you have the Rich Uncle board. You would also bring out 5 dark blue tiles called Late Cravings and 5 light blue tiles called Early Cravings. You would reveal 2 tiles each turn, because there's only 5 years in the whole game. You would put dark blue at the bottom of the deck and light blue at the top of the deck. Flip 2 of the tiles, and this is what the uncle is willing to pay other players to eat at their place. So the uncle would buy food as normal, go to the topmost available left spot, add it to their plate. During the visiting phase here, you have to have what the uncle wants for the uncle to visit you. They also will not visit you if you are... The uncle will only visit you if you have what he wants from the snack tiles. In addition to, the uncle is willing to pay you more or equal to what he has given to you in previous rounds. So looking at the craving tiles here, he would pay $15 maximum to buy 2 yellow snacks. If it costs $20 to go to your house, that $20 is more than what the uncle is willing to pay for. So the uncle would not visit your house because he only has $15 to spend. So the uncle can only visit you if he hasn't overspent going to your place first. The uncle only visits if you offer the exact type and the number of snacks in that snack spot. So looking at this example here, the uncle wants either a gray seed or 2 yellow snacks. This section has 1 gray seed. The uncle would come here. Down here, there's 2 grays and 1 yellow. If there's something the uncle doesn't want from his craving tiles, then the host gets to decide what he eats. Here's 2 examples here. So this is not exactly what's depicted on the craving tile, so the host gets to decide. So for visiting, the rich uncle will visit each player and try to buy snacks if you offer the snacks that they want. So when visiting, if you meet the criteria of the uncle will pay you money to go visit your board, and you can move the dragon track up. He visits everyone that matches what craving he has this turn. If you offer the snack on 2 different sections, they only visit once, so you wouldn't add this up. 5 plus 15, nope. You just choose the higher value of the 2. During the eating phase, the uncle must eat at each home, following the order of generosity like all other players. On the uncle's turn to eat, if the snack is still available, the uncle will eat what they were craving. If the snack is not available, then the host gets to decide what's available to eat. Score 1 point per visit from the rich uncle. Discard the 2 craving tiles and reveal 2 new ones for the next year. The uncle does not count for at the end of the game for the fewest or the first 2 objectives. And they do not count for these 2 decorations, the fortune cat or the Chinese lantern. The expansion also comes with 2 more sides to have randomized scoring objectives for each of the shop stalls. After 5 rounds of the game, whoever has the most luck is the winner. So you gotta see how much snacks you've eaten to see your scoring criteria. Every $50 you've earned is also $1 at the end of the game. The player with the most points is the winner. If you exceed 30, you can lap around. So let's go over the basic scoring objectives as indicated in the book here. For the beginner, 1 point for every 2 oranges eaten, and you lose 2 points if you eat an odd number of oranges. Melon seeds, score 6 points if you have eaten the most seeds, or score 3 points if you have eaten the second most seeds. If 2 or more players are tied for the most, they split the 9 points, rounded down, then no players score for second place. If 2 or more players tie for second place, they split 3 points, rounded down. Pineapple tart, score 2 points for every 3 yellow snacks eaten, and lose 3 points if you've eaten the fewest yellow snacks, including 0. If 2 or more are tied for the fewest, they split the -3 points, rounded down. Pink shrimp rolls, score 2 points if you've eaten 2 pink, 4 points if you've eaten 3 pinks, and 6 points if you've eaten at least 4 pinks. Jasmine tea, the wild card. When eating this snack only, you may choose to assign it as a tea and place it in the tea section, or as a wild card for any other colored snack. Score 1 point for every tea you've eaten as a tea section, or count it as a different type of snack for the endgame scoring objective. It doesn't count as a tea anymore. So we got green jasmine tea, pink shrimp rolls, yellow pineapple tarts, bluish gray melon seeds, and orange mandarin oranges.